So it is finally here, the Minecraft Caves and Cliff update. So as you all know, we have been waiting for the cave update for ages, and to be fair, the cliff update as well looks like it's going to be pretty cool. So Minecraft did a live stream earlier this week in which they announced the release of the 1.17 update, the Caves and Cliffs. And in this live stream, they gave out a bunch of new features that look pretty interesting, to be honest. And it's also where they announced a bunch of new mobs, new blocks, and also the new caves. So talking about caves, the first cave we're going to look at is the LUSH caves, and it's a beautiful underground ecosystem and which you can find easily thanks to the new trees, which are called the azalea trees. So if you just dig down its roots, you'll find a LUSH cave. Might be a little bit down, but just dig a little bit and you'll find them there. So they spawn with some nice flowing rivers that flow throughout, and you can actually take a little boat and ride down them, and maybe you might end up in another big cave. So there is also a bunch of new blocks in this new cave, in which we have the glowberries, spore blossoms, and the DRIPLEAF. So the DRIPLEAF can grow quite tall, and on top of it there will be a little plant, which is the leaf. So you can also use this by jumping up on top like this, but if you stay on it too long, the leaf will actually tilt, and if you stay really too long, it will just make you fall off the platform. So it can be used for making some nice parkour maps. And also what I'm looking for the most is the axolotls. They are probably the cutest mob you'll ever seen in this game, and look why. You can find these back in the LUSH caves, by the way, and you can actually pick them up with a water bucket like you would with a tropical fish. And I believe you can actually tame them as well, so they can follow you around when you're underwater. And as you can tell, they are so cute. So now we're going to talk about the dripstone caves, and as you can tell, this is what I was expecting, to be fair, for a cave update. And they are a lot bigger and more dangerous because there are stalactites and stalagmites from the ceiling and the ground. And you can actually, well, some of them will fall from the ceiling at some point. They can actually fall. And you can collect water from them as well. But you can actually collect them and place them on the ground, and you could probably use them in a mob farm, as you can see here. So let's take a little look at the Deep Dark Cave, and this cave you can actually find it in like the deepest and darkest parts of your world, and it's also where it houses the Warden. And the Warden is a pretty deadly mob because it is the mob that does the most damage in one hit than any other mob in Minecraft, or that's ever been added into Minecraft. And as you can tell, it has this weird little effect where it goes dark kinda for like a split second and then it goes bright again. And yeah, there's kind of a little spooky aspect to the game, to be fair, which is actually kind of cool. And Warden actually has a lot of health as well, not just a lot of damage. But the plus side that we have is that he can't see anything. He can't see at all. The only reason where he can find you is when you're running about, because he senses vibration, and that's when he will attack you. So make sure that you walk around very slowly, sneak around a lot, so that the Warden can't actually find you. So as you can tell in this clip, they are actually just sneaking around all over the place whilst the game is going dark and bright and all that. And there will be the Warden. There you go, there's the Warden. So as you can tell, he's got snowballs in this clip, and they're going to throw snowballs, and the Warden will actually go towards the snowballs where they hit the ground, because he senses the vibration of the snowball hitting it. So actually we have a use now for snowballs, really. And there you go, he senses the snowball and he runs that way. So then you can actually run away, but don't make too much sound, because the Warden, when he hears you, he does a lot of damage. As you can tell in this clip, he is using just a normal bow, but his armor is actually full netherite armor. And I find that quite spooky when he does that like animation, and then he's just going to charge. Look, there you go, he charges. And yeah, keep in mind this is full netherite armor, and he is using a bow, and he's getting loads of full charges on the Warden, and he's not dying. He's not dying very easily, but look at that. What is that, 6 hearts of damage? 6 hearts of damage in one hit in full netherite. So it is pretty much like a mini boss. So make sure that you're careful. So now that we're finished with the Warden, what you can see as well is there is some new blocks in that biome, and they're called SCUL growths. And there's also the new redstone block, which is called the SCUL sensor. So it can detect a movement or a signal when you place a block or remove a block, and also by footsteps. And once it does that, it will emit a redstone signal. But as you can tell, when the piston retracts, it actually sends in another signal because it's making sound still. But what you can do to fix that is actually place some wall around the new block, and as you can tell, it won't reactivate. But if you break the wall block and do another sound, when it retracts, it would actually send another signal again. So now to finish off with the cave generations, There is also a amethyst geodes, and they spawn really rarely, and they also spawn inside them with some crystals. So when you walk inside here, it has some nice little beautiful sound effects, and as you can tell, it looks really cool. It's a really cool find, but it's extremely rare. So with these crystals that you find inside these geodes, you can actually craft a new item, which is a telescope. So the telescope is pretty much like Optifine, but in vanilla. But unfortunately, with the crystals, you cannot actually make a farm. Well, you can, but you can't build the farm wherever you want, because the blocks that the crystals grow on can't actually be mined. So you'll actually have to travel to the area where you found the geodes. And yes, don't worry, we still have the original caves. Apart from that, they have been completely improved because they've done an improve of the cave generations. And there is going to be like massive lakes inside, really big caverns, underwater parts, and it's just going to look extremely cool and really cool to actually be able to use a boat to travel across the caves. But keep in mind that, as you can see, all the actual ores are glowing, but this is just for the video sake, so you won't actually have any glowing ores. So it'd be pitch black. You're gonna have to look around yourself with some torches and stuff like that. But yeah, it's gonna be extremely cool that you can just travel. Look at this, you can just travel through the caves like crazy. But imagine when there's loads of creepers and skeletons attacking you, it's gonna be quite dangerous. And we've also got another ore, a brand new ore, which is copper. I'm quite excited by this one because that probably means there's going to be some new items that we can craft. And what is actually pretty cool is that you can use it as a building block, but what makes it even cooler is that it oxidizes. So after time, it will actually turn that nice little greeny blue color. And I think that's a pretty cool feature, to be fair, because then you'll actually know how long of a... Like, if you see a build in the world and it's completely green, you'll know that that build has been there for a very long time. So you know how I was talking about a new crafting recipe coming into the game, and here is one of them. It is called the lightning rod. And as you know, like sometimes, I don't know if it's happened to you guys or not, but you build a nice wooden house and then there's a thunderstorm and then it catches on fire. But with this, you place it on top of your roof, and the lightning, when it's in the vicinity, it will actually land on top of that lightning rod and stop your house from getting burnt, really. So now that we have finished with all the cave stuff, let me talk about the bundles. Oh my god, the bundles are gonna be so good, because they can stock up 64 items in one bundle, but it can be 64 of any item you want. So like any other item, so you can have loads of different items in there. As long as it doesn't go over 64, you can fit it in there. So you can have like 64 different types of blocks, or like, I don't know, like loads of flowers that are messing up your inventory, that are filling it up. Or when you're caving, when you have like 2 sticks, like 3 cobblestone, 2 iron, you can fit it all into one bundle just to clear up your inventory space. So hopefully what happens as well, it will actually go inside the bundle when you're mining automatically, so you don't have to do it all the time. I don't know, but I am so looking forward to that. So there's also some cool little sites that you can find. There's some little archaeology sites, and inside these little tents you'll be able to find some brushes. So with these brushes you can actually go inside the pits, and this is where you'll find some nice little hidden artifacts. So like in real life, you'll have to be careful when you're like brushing away the dirt or the gravel, because if you're not too careful, well, you can actually break whatever's inside the block or whatever you dig up. But you can actually find some nice shiny blocks. So you can find like some diamond blocks, maybe some gold blocks. I'm not too sure, but in this clip they're going to find a diamond block. But as you can see, if you're not careful, it can actually break. What I mean by careful, I believe it's going to probably be randomized. So you're going to have a random chance of actually getting the item or not. But once you find stuff like this, like a blue ceramic shard, you can actually pot them on a clay pot. But yeah, the designs that are on these pots are actually not like final designs. They are just for showing off the video. But yeah, you can actually light fire underneath and actually cook the pot, so it's all a nice little brown color after. So in the live stream, they didn't actually really talk about the cliff update that much. So as you can tell, the mountains though will look pretty cool. So you're going to have a nice little tree line where the trees stop, and then above that is just going to be like rock and snow. But yeah, also what there is on this new update is actually another mob, is the mountain goat. So the mountain goat is a new mob, and we don't know too much about it or what it's going to drop or all that, but as you can see, it jumps really high, which is pretty cool, and it also rams other animals and mobs. So I think that's pretty funny, especially if you could tame one and he just rams like enemy mobs off the cliffs or stuff like that. It could be really cool. So for all of you that voted for everything apart from glow squid, I am sorry, we are getting the glow squid. So yeah, all it does is glow. That's it. It's just a glowing squid. There's nothing that goes with it. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't hypnotize. This is just for the sake of the video they done that. They don't actually hypnotize or anything. So yeah, anyway, this is the end of the video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.